Welcome to this workshop, Interactive Instructional Video with Canvas Studio. My name is Greg Beyer. I'm the Distance Education Coordinator at Captioning River College. I'm a course facilitator for the online network of educators, and I also happen to be a Canvas coach in the instructor community. I really appreciate you choosing to spend some of your valuable time either watching this live or watching the recording, and I hope that this is useful for you. This is a workshop about Canvas Studio. And what I'm going to do today is I'll talk about Canvas Studio, talk about what kind of tool it is. I will also talk about how it can be used to create video and to explore interactions with our students and also the analysis that we can do with those interactions. And I will say that it's a video engagements tool created by Instructional. So it is a separately licensed product from Canvas. In California's community college system, we are fortunate that our state chancellor is also paying for the license for Canvas. For Canvas Studio, in addition to paying for the license for Canvas. So all of California's community colleges have access to this tool. Where I work, my full-time job at Captioning River College, we do use this, and I'll be using my local instance of Canvas for the demonstrations that I'm doing. It's possible that your local instance won't have access to Studio. If it's a California Community College, it's paid for. So that's a matter of talking to your college leadership, your DE leadership about extending that. And of course, if you're not a California Community College, then you'll need to talk to about acquiring a license for Canvas Studio. And one other point I want to make about Canvas Studio is, unlike Zoom or YouTube Live, Canvas Studio is for asynchronous video only. So it's video that we record for our students. It is also possible for students to use a Canvas Studio, and I'll mention that briefly during the talk today. And let's see, what I'll do then is I'll also be pausing throughout to catch up on questions in the chat, so please don't hesitate. So let me know if you have any of those. So I'll go ahead and talk about the first thing we can do. Oh, there's my information about Canvas Studio. That quote there is actually from Instructure's marketing department that turns content into conversation. And again, it is both a video creation and management tool. So it combines a lot of different things together into the, in one set of tools. So you don't have to pull together a separate set of tools to meet these different needs. Again, I'll be showing you the things that we can do with Canvas Studio today. So there are 4 options for video creation in Studio, and I will be demonstrating 3 of the 4 options. One is to record the speaker, the presenter. You can film a talking head using your webcam, and I believe I'll be able to show that even though I'm using my webcam for this presentation. The second option is you can do a screen capture, so you can record your screen. This involves downloading a separate application called Screencast-O-Matic. So Instructure licensed Screencast-O-Matic to attach to Studio. I already have Screencast-O-Matic on this computer, so I won't be able to show you that download experience. So that's the one of these 4 that I won't be demonstrating for you live. However, recording a screen is something that we can do with Zoom, and I know that we use Zoom throughout our system, California's community colleges. Zoom is near ubiquitous in the online education world. So being able to voice over a presentation is, we already have tools that can do that. But if you don't have access to that with Zoom, or if you don't have access to a tool like Zoom, you can use the screen capture software that is bundled with Canvas Studio to take care of that. You can upload a video. So if you've got a video file on your local computer, you can drag it and drop it into Studio, and it will then be uploaded. And then finally, you can import a video from YouTube or from Vimeo. Now, we already can import YouTube or Vimeo videos into Canvas. We can copy the embed code. You can actually add a link. Why you would choose to do that with Studio instead of doing it without Studio is the interaction options that you'll be seeing today. And I'm going to be, I think, demonstrating these. Yes, here we go. So video creation, record you. So let's check this out. I'm going to go into this class. This is a Canvas class on my local server. And the context for this video is I want to make a welcome announcement for the beginning of the semester. So I will create an announcement, give it a title. So it's important anytime we add video to our classes that we also add the instructional context, give our students a reason to watch the video, which is what I've done here. I'm telling my students in the announcements, what's coming up in this class. And I'm going to now create this video in Studio. So I've got my instructional context, I've got an insertion point. There are two ways that we can access Studio at my institution. One is the Studio link appears in course navigation. That link is always visible to us. It is not visible to our students. We can also go into the toolbar, and on the toolbar in Canvas, there's a link here for external apps. Studio is considered an external app. And if you select that link, if you haven't yet used Studio in this course, you'll see this link that says View All. So this is the method that I'm going to go. Select View All. This will show me all the apps that are installed in this course. I can see that Canvas Studio is one of them, so I select that. So I've just opened up the Studio dialog. Now I mentioned two different ways to access Studio in our institution here in Los Rios or Costumbre River College. It is normal for the Studio implementation to also allow students to use it, or to make it easier for students to use it. That's a better way to say it. And at most Studio installations, there will be a link for Studio on the global navigation. And that makes it visible to every user, including students. And students can use Studio to make videos like I'm about to use. And I'm going to close this and say I want to add a new one. There are 4 options. So if Studio is being made, if the institution has chosen to make it easy for students to use Studio, then the Studio link will appear on global navigation. We don't, and the reason we don't is we are concerned about storage as part of the license, that there's a set limit amount of data, it's per user. So we've decided not to do that at my college. However, even though we have decided not to do it, students have access to the same rich content editor that we do, because that's the same for everyone. So a student also could select that app icon and then choose Canvas Studio from that list. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that here. And I'm going to demonstrate making a talking head video. Let's see. I'm going to choose webcam capture. So you can see that's my webcam. It's pointing at me, and I'm going to, I could choose a different webcam. In fact, I'm going to choose the OBS virtual camera because that's what I'm using for this presentation. That looks a little bit better. I can choose the microphone if I want to. I'm going to hit start recording, and you can see in the presentation window exactly what I'm seeing as I record this video. Hi, class, and welcome to History 310 this semester. I'm Professor Beyer, and I'm really excited that I get to be your guide as we together explore the first half of the American past, all the way up until the end of Reconstruction. Please read through all the details in this announcement that this video is embedded in. That includes important information about the activities that I want you to complete during the first week of the semester. It's really important that you do that. It's my way of taking roll, and that way I can make sure to keep your enrollments in our class. Let's have a great semester. So you saw the start over button. If I messed up in the middle of that, I could hit start over. I can start over again here. I can preview it. That was only 33 seconds. I'm going to say that that was good, and I'm going to select the Save Media button. Now it's uploading the file there. You can see the percentage. While that's uploading, let me see if you guys have any questions right now about what I've demonstrated so far. And if you could, please type those in the chat. Okay. If you accidentally X out, will it stop uploading? No, it won't. It will interrupt the upload. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, so I just, I finished uploading it, right? I'm ready to add it. And if I hit the select button, I get this two options here. One is to, do I want to display the media tabs? I'm going to leave this on so I can talk about those. And this other option, do I want my students to be able to download the video? Yeah, I'm not going to. I typically don't. Savvy students will know that you can always download a video that you found. There's a question here in the YouTube chat. I'll share out loud. Is there a captioning or subtitling? Yes, there is. And that's one of the really neat things about Studio that I'll show you in just a moment. So I'm going to select the embed button. And I'm going to save this announcement. But before I save it, I'm going to post-date it because I want to make sure that it does not appear until the first day of the semester. Okay, so here's the announcement as it appeared to students. There's a play button inside the Studio window. I added the media tab, which means that my students can see the details. Now I can edit these to make it a little bit more friendly. They can do comments, which I'm going to show you in my next demonstration. The insights I want to show you after my students watch this, and then captions. So let me cover captions while we're here. Studio videos, if you create the video like I just did, so this is the talking head video, this is also the screen capture video, and if you upload a video, and I'm going to show you uploading a video file, for those three methods of creating a video, you can have Studio do the captioning for you. And I'll show you what that looks like. You select the captions link, and then you have to tell them what language is spoken in the video. I wish that Klingon were an option, but it's not, so I have to choose English, and then I will select request. And right now, Studio is in the process of generating those captions. So you've seen here already that the captions are not generated until I request them. Something else about Studio is that those captions are not visible to students until I publish them. So that's the opposite of YouTube on both of those options, right? If you upload a video to YouTube, it gets captioned automatically, and then the captions are visible automatically. We can, of course, edit those captions. How accurate is the captioning feature? Great question, Marcus. I think it's pretty good. And one big advantage that Studio has over YouTube is Studio does punctuation and capitalization, but YouTube does not. And that's one of the biggest things I find about editing, biggest pains in the butt about editing YouTube auto caption for me is I have to go in and capitalize everything. Capitalizing names and spelling, I understand that's going to be an error, but a single standalone letter I, as in I welcome you to this class, YouTube's not smart enough to recognize that should be capitalized. Celia, you asked, you can't pause and restart. That is correct. You can't pause and restart. Now, if you're doing the screen recording, you can do that if you're using the Screencast-O-Matic. Okay. And Tammy mentioned not great for science-specific vocabulary. Yeah, actually, probably in all of our disciplines, there are some specific words that need to be spelled in a certain way. Certainly when I teach history, I care a lot about spelling. And yeah, that's one of the things that I don't like about it also. Okay, so it's generating the captions. As soon as it's done generating those, I'll get an email, but probably if I refresh this page, it will work. And while I'm here, notice that you can have multiple languages for caption files. So if I wanted to provide a transcript that was in another language, I could do that as well. Okay, let's go ahead and let me, I don't need to do anything else. You see that button just popped up, it said review and publish. So let's take a look at what those captions look like. Okay, so it misspelled the word hi, that's okay. Tried to spell out the numbers. I could click on the links here that are on the side, these time codes, and it would jump to that point in the video and start playing it, but I have a feeling it's going to be pretty easy. And I promise I won't do this editing a second time with the other video, but I want you to see what this experience looks like. So here's a word in history, Reconstruction. That's always capitalized in American history. I'll make that a semicolon. Okay, I hope that you were impressed by the quality of the captions. Thank you, Corey. Yes, it looks so much easier than editing Zoom. That's absolutely correct. And then again, that caption is not visible to my students until I select this publish button. Okay, I'm going to see who's enrolled in this class. Oh, student Greg is. You know what? Let's add some hobbits. So I'm going to add Frodo Baggins and Eleanor Gamgee into this class. And we'll be able to see them as well. So, because I want you guys to see some student experience. Great, this class is published. So I'm going to quickly log in as Frodo. You know what? I'm going to do this in a different browser window, and that way, and because it might be quicker for me just to switch from here to there than to go over there, than to do the okay. So I'm going to switch the share, and we're going to see what Frodo sees when he logs in. And let's do a new share. And this time I'm going to watch Firefox. Okay, so Frodo is logged in, right? This is this user, and he goes to the announcements. Doesn't see an announcement. Oh, right, because I post-dated it. Oh, silly Greg. I'm being a bit too efficient. Let's go back into that class. I'll do this in my other window. Okay. I just need to clear out the delay date for that video, that announcement, excuse me. Okay, refresh. So Frodo sees the announcements. Again, this is from the student's perspective. There's the window. Notice that the students can only see details and comments. So I should probably edit the details in this video before I actually use it with students. And then the student can play the video. I'm going to keep the volume low. On the toolbar is an option for captions. Oops, captions are on. So you see where captions appear. They're at the top of the window. And the reason they appear at the top of the window is because of the comments feature. And this is something that the other services don't have. At least YouTube doesn't have, and I know Zoom doesn't have either. So this is asynchronous, right? I'm watching it from the student's perspective. At any point, a student or any user can click on a time point and add a comment. This is threaded, and you see there's a checkbox there for notify me of replies. So because I turn this on, and I'm going to select the button to input that comment. Oh, I said Frodo. This is Eleanor who's logged in. Everyone can see that comment bubble. And now we're going to switch back to the instructor view. So we'll see what that looks like from their view. Share screen. And I need to correct, I need to select the correct window. Oh, good, I got it. All right. So here's me, Professor Byer. I've just logged in. Let's refresh this page. And now you'll notice that there is a bubble on the, there's a bubble on the timeline. And look what happens when I'm watching the video as I approach that bubble. Again, anyone can see this bubble. And that way I can make sure to, you see how it popped up. So those of you who are old enough to remember pop-up video on VH1, that was the first thing that I thought of when I saw this feature. I love it. As a user, so not just me, the instructor, but as a user, I can select the comments tab, and all the comments will be listed here with the timestamp. So I don't have to wait for the button to pop up, in other words, and then I can reply. And then I can select the reply button. And my student, Eleanor Gamgee, she just got a notification that someone replied to her comments. on that. And then you can see as the instructor, I have the button to subscribe to comments so that I can get a notification every single time one of my students comments on it. So that's a jump ahead a bit at the commenting feature. I wanted to share that. And then one more thing I want to share while we're here is the Insights tab. And the Insights tab shows how long each student and the class watched the video and where they dropped in and dropped out. So if I select Insights, I'll have a pretty spare data here. Right, so here's, this video was played 2 times. I guess it counted me too. Unique viewer, just 1. I can select the individual student. Oh, can I? Let's see, I thought I could. Oh, there's unique viewer. I guess these aren't links. Oh, here we go. So it's at the bottom of the page, right? So refresh right what I did. As the instructor, after I've posted the video and after students have had a chance to watch it, I can select the Insights tab. I can select which shows here. So what are the teacher's views? I only watched it once and only for a little bit. Oh, shame on me. But what you can do also is select the individual students. Sorry, let's switch back over to students. I can select the individual students and I can look at that student's access to the video. So I'm about to upload a content video. This is, just a welcome video, an announcement video, but with a content video, if I'm assessing the student's understanding of that content, this is an insight for me that I can say, oh, well, you know what? If you didn't even watch the video or I explained this concept, it makes sense why you didn't do that. Ava, you asked, can students make a comment with another video? No, they can't. The comments are limited to just text. But let me see if I got that right. And let me click the comment button. Comments and reply. Yeah, it's just an empty, it's plain text. Same thing up here. Great questions. Yeah, we got that comments about the video. Okay. So let me go back to my presentation. I want to make sure that I'm still on track. So I showed you recording myself. I'm not going to show you record your screen. I already explains because I have that software already downloaded on this computer. I won't be able to re-download it again. But let's see what I can at least show you what that looks like. 2 ways to access Studio for instructors. I already showed you one way, which is inside the rich content editor, where I'm going to show the video. I can also access the Studio link and course navigation. And here I can navigate to any of the videos that I have uploaded into any of my classes anywhere on this Canvas instance. So you can see it defaults to the class that I'm currently in, right? This 1.6180. If I select the hamburger menu up here, I can see all the classes I have on this instance of Canvas, and I can pull any video into this class. So you don't have to upload the same video to multiple classes. You can upload it just once. But while I'm here, let's take a look at this button here to record. I'm going to select screen capture, and it'll show me what? Hopefully you see that button up top that says, it's because it recognizes that I already have the software on the computer, so it's asking me to upload that, to open it. I'll see what happens if I try it. What do I get here? Oh, this actually is what it looks like, this dialog where it says download the screen capture application, and then I've got a box on my screen here. It's going to try to record what I'm filming. I'm having enough problems. I want to stop here, and I hope that you take it on faith that this can work. It actually does work pretty well. I happen to like it a lot. Okay, so let's close out of that application. Okay, now I've got a box on my screen, but it looks like it's coming through anyway. So 4 ways to add video, excuse me. The webcam, screen recording. The third one is to upload a video file. So I'll do that here by selecting the add button. And you can see where it says drag and drop or upload media. I will go ahead and add that file while I answer that question. This is a clip from a lecture. So while it's uploading, you see the progress bar up top. The application, again, is called Screencast-O-Matic. I personally have problems with Screencast-O-Matic through Canvas Studio because I already had a license for Screencast-O-Matic that I paid for. It's like $30 for 3 years. It's pretty inexpensive. And I've been using that to do screen recordings. So some of the videos that I do for how to use Canvas or whatever, I also use a program called Camtasia. So those are my two go-to programs for that. Because I already have Screencast-O-Matic on my computer that I licensed, Canvas Studio has a hard time digesting that when I make a request. Okay. And I'll show you the link for that. So Screencast-O-Matic. I think it's just screencast-o-matic.com. Yep. So I'll put this in the chat. Again, if you're interested in that, you don't have to purchase the license if you have a Canvas Studio. Okay. So let's close that. All right, so my video has uploaded. You can see that it's here. I'll select the view button. And the details, it grabs the file name. So I call this Bombs and Immigrants Short, edit details, that's great. Again, I'll request the captions. I'm not going to do the captions, but I want you to see what that process is like. And now I have a video in my library that isn't yet added to my Canvas course, right? It's not yet anywhere my students can access it. So I do have a content page ready for that. It's in modules, of course, lecture 1. Oh, I need to add some instructional context. And then from the Rich Content Editor toolbar, it's that same button, External Tools. Because I've used Canvas Studio in this course, it pops up on the list already. If I select Canvas Studio, it's going to go to my library. And you see here, it defaults to my library. So that is all of my videos and all my classes. It is sorted by date added by default. So great, this is the one I want to use. I'm going to hit Select. Display Media Tabs, yes, because I do want my students to comment on this. And I'll select the Embed button. There's one other feature I haven't shown you yet, and that's quizzes that are built in, but I want to do that for the next video. I'm going to select Save here just so we can see again what this looks like, and you see the details, comments, insights. In my other browser window, I'm going to have my student Eleanor start watching that video, and I'm going to have her stop partway through so you can see what that looks like. Hi, I'm Professor Beyer. The decade that saw the... All right, let's keep that muted. Okay. Before I move on to the importing of YouTube, are there any other questions? Oh, great, Lauren. Can we see information about who watched a video, how much, how long, only when the class is active? I'm trying to look at some videos recorded in Studio in previous semesters and can't get that data. Maybe because the class is from last semester. Lauren, I don't know the answer to that question. How long is the viewer data kept? I believe it's forever, but if a class is no longer, I'm going to answer this question, and the answer is yes, because when we close a class after a certain date, then there are all kinds of things that happen to the students in that class. And one of the things that happens is the student access data is hidden in some ways. So I will work on I can't fix it in Studio, but I'm sure there's a workaround. So let me write that down. Workaround for student insights after the semester. Okay. Maybe I didn't click something when I uploaded it. Yeah, actually, here's what could have happened, Lauren, is if you, why did I pause there? The expression on my face. Much better. If you embed a studio video without including the tabs, then you don't get to see the Insights button. And that's possibly what happened. So let's go to the next content page. And I want to import YouTube and show you quizzes. So here's my lecture on the Black Panther Party, or not my lecture, but a video I found. So again, the button, there it is, Canvas Studio. And this time I'm going to add, where's my, there it is, add an external link. Okay, they're looking for a YouTube link. So I'm going to open up YouTube and do a search. And I like to talk about accessibility whenever I can. So when you are searching for videos, oops, I mistyped it, that's fine. When you get a YouTube search results, you can select the filters link, and one of the options is subtitles/CC. That will filter your search results so that every one of these videos has been manually captioned. So someone has gone in and edited those YouTube captions, those YouTube videos. So this is a video that I want to include. I think I can go up here and choose. Nope, I need to watch it, and that's fine.
What do I
So
watch?
let's skip the ad. Okay, so here's the video, and I'm going to select the share link, copy. Okay. Now I'm going to come into Canvas, right? Paste that share link, select add video. And this is the video I want to add. So I'll hit the select button. And Lauren, here's that button for display media tabs. If I turn that off, then those things won't show. And you know what? I just realized I did this different because I can't do quizzes yet. If I select embed, it's not going to have the option for quizzes. So we add the quiz through the main studio interface, okay? So I'm going to edit and delete this and do this again. Okay, hit save. Go to Studio, again, the link on the course navigation, and it's already there, it's showing up, that's fine. If I select the Atkins menu for this, nope. All right, let me take you step by step. So I'm in the Studio interface, not through the Rich Content Editor toolbar, but through the link on course navigation. You can see that it kept the link to the YouTube video, even though I deleted it from the content page it was at. I have to view the item, so I haven't yet embedded it, but while I'm viewing it, I've got captions. I haven't talked about YouTube captions yet. And then I have the Atkins menu for here, and there's an option to delete. Why don't I see quiz? Well. Let's try this again. All right, let's go back to my library. And maybe it's from here that I have to do it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I just learned something, and now you get to learn it too. If you want to add a quiz to a Canvas Studio video, you have to do it from the My Library, which again shows all of your videos in this instance of Canvas. I happen to have the Black Panther Party video listed twice. I'm going to get rid of one of those because I don't want to duplicate it. So not while I'm looking at my individual class, but while I'm looking at my library overall, I can then select the Atkins menu for the video and choose Create Quiz. A video can have multiple quizzes, and you can choose whether to enable the quiz when you import it into the class. So I'm going to just call this a sample quiz. Here's a description. Do I want to hide the question marker timeline for students? And do I want displaying annotations on timeline for students? I'm going to leave the question marker timeline visible, and I'll check that out there, and I'll say get started. So now I'm looking at the video and I'm going to choose the time point where I wants to ask a question. And I'm going to go and I've got this already prepped at least. I'll go to time code 206. Okay, that's 207 is close enough. I'm going to select the plus symbol and say, let's add a multiple choice question. No, this is multiple answer. And the question stem is something about that was covered in the video. The answers, there are going to be 4 answers and 3 of them are correct. And the 3 correct answers are develop Black student leadership, advocate for a more inclusive curriculum, connect the university to the community, and what's incorrect, elect a Black mayor of Oakland. Anytime I do a multiple choice question, I like to, or multiple answer, I like to shuffle the choices. So each presentation, right, the students will get it in a different order. And then I have the option to give feedback to students if I want to. Let's select the save button. And let me do one more question. This is going to be a true false. I'm going to jump out here to 754, add a question, true or false. And the question is, Governor Ronald Reagan opposed the Black Panther Party and used their militant image for his political gain. That is true. And I'll select save. And then on the settings button for the quiz, those are the options I already had. So great. So hit save and then done. Canvas Studio, my library, this is the level where I can add a quiz to a video. Now let's go back into the class. I'll go to that content page, edit the content page. You know, and I just realized that my student, she watched the whole video. So I need to have her watch a little bit more. Okay, so I'm in the rich content editor on the content page. I told my students some instructional context. Go to the apps button, select Canvas Studio. And the video I'm going to import is going to be this Black Panther Party video. There's a little icon in the upper right-hand corner that says this video has a quiz attached to it. If I select it, I have the option to choose which quiz I want to add, right? If I had multiple quizzes here. So let's embed that. And from a YouTube video, notice that the details, it grabs the description from YouTube. So that's something pretty neat that Canvas does. Canvas Studio does. And I'm going to click save. I'm going to go back to that announcements, or back to the prior video. And let's take a look at the tab on Insights. And let's pick on my student, Eleanor Gamgee. And let's see, I can see here that this student watched it, right? She watched the middle of the video again. So for 2 plays. Okay. Great. Now let's see what the student sees. I'm going to switch the, I want the student to take the quiz. And then after the quiz, I'm going to talk about captions in YouTube videos. Okay. I'm checking the chat while I'm here. Can you add a quiz to your own videos? Yes, you can. Yeah, the quizzes can be added to any videos. It doesn't matter whether it's from YouTube or one that you've created. Okay, so here's the student's view of this. And the student's going to go to the next page, which is that video from the Black Panther Party. notice that the video, because it has a quiz, there's a quiz title, quiz description, or overlaid on the video. The student has to select that to watch it. And because I'm
Clint Smith. This is Crash Course Black American.
So because I left the timers there, it's going to make it easier for me to just jump to that. And I'm going to select the quiz, and let's go ahead and let's get it wrong. You see there's a rewatch button. The student can select that button and go back, looks like back to the beginning. So let's try that again and hit continue. Now I can continue watching the video, and let's go to that next quiz question, and I'll get this one correct and click continue, and then I can keep watching it. Okay. So a question you may be asking yourself is, can the students watch the video without taking the quiz? I don't know. Let's find out by enrolling her classmate or taking a look at what her classmate sees. So Frodo is enrolled. Frodo's going to go to the class. Modules. Let's have the student go straight to that video. Okay.
Hi, I'm Clint Smith. This is Crash Course.
Let's go. Let's see if I can jump straight to this part of the video. Yeah, you can. So the student can skip the video, skip the quiz if they want to. Okay. Now let's come back into instructor view so I can take a look at quiz results and also talk about captions and YouTube videos. Okay. If you don't click on the bubble with a question, will it pop up for students when they reach that point in the video? You know, Lauren, that's a great question. So let's test that out. Let's do one more video of the student side. You guys are asking some excellent questions. Firefox, here we go. Oh, the student has the option to submit it. Let's do resume quiz. Yeah, I didn't touch it. It paused. So when the question pops up, the video automatically pauses, and the students, can choose to answer the question, can choose not to answer the question. But at the end, let's rewatch. Oh, maybe because I got it wrong. Continue. Let's come out here. This is the other student. So let me let it flow. There's Governor Reagan. Here it comes. And it paused. Great. If I select rewatch at this point, I am 7 minutes, 54 seconds into the video. Let's see how far back it goes. It goes back to the last quiz question. So that's a thing to know. So let's continue and just jump straight out here. And I'm going to select the previous button. Okay, it did not prompt me to submit an incomplete quiz. So let's see what happens when the instructor takes a look at this. Stop share. Okay, I'm going to refresh this page just for good measure. So here's the video from my perspective as an instructor. One of the tabs here is quiz results. No reports yet. Really? There we go. Oh, they're both in progress. This is what I get for switching around so quickly. So I'm going to hop back over there and I think I just clicked through it like I'm an impatient student.
Hi, I'm Clint Smith. This is Crash.
Okay. So I'm playing till the end of the video in this other window just so I can tell you what happens. I answered both questions. This is Frodo. And well, that's interesting. I know I submitted it, but the student view is also saying the same thing. All right, it's 2 seconds. Here we go. Oh, okay. So here, I should show this to you because I want it in the video too. So stop share. Let's do more sharing. Firefox. Here's what the students saw at the end of the video. So in order for the students' quiz to be submitted, they have to watch the whole video through and they have to hit the submit quiz button. And then now the student can view their results. So again, I'm logged in as a student right now. And the student got 1 out of 2 points, and then they see the answers and the feedback and all that. Okay, so that answers that question. And now we know how we see the students' student results. Let's see, stop share, and let's do a share and talk about captions. Does the quiz get added to the assignments tab? And I see another question too. So yeah, let's take a look at that. I believe it is because I wasn't prompted for that. So let's take a look at grades. Course syllabus quiz is not it. Let's search for assignments. That would be the sample. No, it is not included there. I go to that and I quiz results as the instructor. There's that, right? I see one score for the students. I will follow up on that, connecting the quiz. Actually, whenever I have a question, I'm going to go to the Canvas guides because it'll answer it there. So I go to Canvas Studio, Studio Guide, Studio Quizzing. How do I post Canvas Studio video quiz results in the Canvas gradebook? Here it is. Studio must be enabled. Quizzes must be created. Okay, from your My Uploads page, right? I've already done that. Once a version of a quiz has been embedded or taken, it cannot be edited. Okay. If the quiz creation option does not display in Studio, the feature's not been enabled. Nope, we're not at that. Here we go. So I actually have to create it as an assignment. There we go. So thanks for asking that question. So here's how we would do that. Is I would go to the assignments page. So let's create an assignment in this module. And I'm going to say quiz video. And I would select, let's make it a 2-point assignment. Submission type is external tool. Select the find button, find Canvas Studio on the list. I choose a resource from Canvas Studio. I want this one, the Black Panther Party video. Standard embed or no quiz embed. So I have these options there. I'm going to say, yes, I want the quiz. And then I'm going to select embed and then hit select. And save and publish. Load quiz video in a new window. Okay, that was an option I didn't choose. And here's the video that my students would watch. And I don't see the quiz button there. But this is how to do it. I kind of stepped through it too quickly. I think I probably missed a step. But it's definitely in this Canvas guide document, and I will put the link into the chat. I'm typing out something here before this link. Okay, and there we go. Okay, great questions. Okay, so let's go back to the video, the YouTube video, and I want to talk about captions. Studio does not recognize captions. Oops, sorry. Studio does not recognize a captioned YouTube video. And if I were to go to the captions, right, it says there are no captions there. We know this is a captioned video because we saw that when I searched for it. So how we get captions, and you can do this from any video. Okay, so here's that video I just uploaded. There we go. You can't download captions directly from YouTube. So what I do is I search for a YouTube captions downloader. And pretty much any of them will work. I'll choose this one here. I'm going to paste that YouTube share link, select the download button, ignore all the pop-up ads and all the junk that's around there. You see ads, blocks, whatever. Here's what I want is I want the not auto-generated. I want the caption that has again, it doesn't say auto-generated. It won't necessarily say United States. It could just say English, but I don't want the plain text file. I want the SRT file. And SRT includes the timestamps for the captions, and it's recognized by Canvas Studio. So before I select that button, I'm going to again talk through the steps. I search for a YouTube captions downloader, and they all pretty much look the same. They're like, a bunch of ads, and then you insert the link for the YouTube video, select the download button, and the download that you want is the SRT file and one that is not auto-generated, right? That's the YouTube auto captions. So I'll select the SRT button. Okay, it's downloaded. It's in my downloads folder now. I can close this window. I can close YouTube, and I can select upload on the Canvas Studio page. So select upload. English is the language. It's that first file in my downloads folder, and it's done. And now students can watch the video and select
Hi, I'm Clint Smith.
The captions option, and it shows up. So getting the captions from YouTube is pretty easy. I remember asking the Instructional developers, right, when being able to include YouTube, the insights are there, the quizzes are there, right? That's pretty wonderful interactivity that we can include. And of course, there's a lot of wonderful videos on YouTube. I remember asking the Instructional folks, why don't you guys recognize the YouTube captions? And the response was, oh, it's a violation of YouTube's terms of service that we do that. I looked through YouTube's terms of service. I'm not a lawyer, but I didn't see anything that said you can't download the captions, because it's pretty clear that if you can watch a YouTube video, right, if you have access to it, whether it's a public or private or whatever, then you have the permission to watch the video. That to me includes accessing the captions. However, even if that is true and I'm not reading it correctly, it's also true, and I read this from some university council somewhere, that the right that a person has under ADA to access material, that supersedes copyright. In other words, it's more important that our students are able to access the material. If I have a deaf student or a student who's hard of hearing or perhaps English language, for them to be able to see the captions, that is more important than the copyright protections that belongs to the copyright holder. So anyway, you've heard it from me, and it's in this recording, and maybe I'll get served. All right, let me pause that, come back over here. And I think I actually went through a couple of my slides, and then I'll get to a good place to pause and see if there's questions. So record your screen. I talked about that. I showed you uploading a video. That's a video, again, that I've made elsewhere. It could be a video that I made using Camtasia. I mentioned I like to use Camtasia for my screen recording videos. It could be a video if I have a Screencast-O-Matic license already. It could be that. And then for the videos that either I upload or that I record my screen using their software, or I record my webcam, I can have Studio auto-generate some captions, and I hope you'll agree that they were pretty accurate, the ones that we saw. And then that fourth option, again, input from YouTube and Vimeo. And let's see, I think I have a question here. Can you make Studio do the work and tell if it's an English language video and have Studio do the caption rather than using the YouTube captions? Is there a difference in accuracy of captions? No, Studio won't detect the language. Studio, whether we are uploading captions or whether we are asking Studio to do the captions, we have to tell Studio what the language is. It's not smart enough to recognize that. YouTube is. It does recognize the language that's being spoken. Is there a difference in the accuracy? I like studio captions. I like those to be, I think those are more accurate. I'll say it that way. I know for me, when I make a video, I more often use YouTube. And because I more often use YouTube, I actually am not comfortable. I don't like it that much, but I'm familiar with the process for editing captions in YouTube, right? The keyboard shortcuts and all that kind of stuff. That's only because I've done it a lot. I haven't yet done editing studios auto captions enough to be fully comfortable with it. But I do really like what I see in terms of the better quality for punctuation and capitalization. A great question. Okay. Oh, and here's the caption slide. So I guess I did things all out of order today, but hopefully it still works. So request and edit auto captions, I mentioned that, and then upload captions for YouTube and video. I talked about the time-based interactions. Again, they pop up automatically as others watch, which I think is really slick. And I liked pop-up video a lot back in the day on VH1. And then you saw the time-based quiz questions that can be assignments in the grade book. So sharing analysis and students. Again, you can use your videos once you've uploaded it to Studio. That includes the YouTube the videos. Once a studio video has been created, you can use it in any of your videos on the same Canvas instance. Now, if you teach at multiple Canvas instances, you will have to separately upload those or separately do those things. But what you can do is once you've done all the work of captioning, see on the Manage Captions button here, you can select the Atkins menu for that and download it. So I could take this this SRT file, right, that I uploaded here, and I can then take that with me and this YouTube link into not just Studio, but pretty much any other tool that hosts video. I have done this, and I've even heard of others who do this, who will make a video that they don't intend to use with Studio, but they will upload it to Studio for the sole purpose of making it easy to edit captions. And that's, again, a pretty powerful statements to how effective those tools are. Also sharing, you can share videos with anyone in the same Canvas instance. So while I'm here, I can go to, let's go back to the Studio page. And I can select one of these videos. Let's select the one of the quiz. Select view, and I think it's, where is the share button?
Hi, I'm Clint Smith, and this is Crash Course Black American.
Okay, maybe it's not with the quiz. Maybe I have to do it from my library. Share media, there we go. So I can share this and I can type people, anyone in my instance of Canvas, I can type it and they'll get an email saying, hey, so-and-so shared a media with you. Now I saw another question that I want to answer, and I thought I saw something about downloading it if it gets deleted. Here it is, thank you, Jorge. Is this video now part of your Canvas page? If the video gets deleted from YouTube, do you still have a copy in Canvas? No, because it is basically when you're using a Canvas Studio for YouTube, all it's doing is it's throwing what's called a skin on top of the video. The video file itself is staying on YouTube. So if the folks at Crash Course were to delete this video or make it private, then I would lose access to it. Okay. All right. So let's see what I got here. I talked about sharing videos. I already showed you the insights for the class-wide or individual analysis. And again, students can use the Studio via button on the Rich Content Editor toolbar. It's even an option for students to submit assignments. When they go to submit an assignment for file upload assignments, there's a tab there that says Studio. So that's an option that we can think of as well. Okay. Wow, did I make it to the end? I did. Did I make it to the end on time? Yeah, I got 10 minutes to go. So that is the end of the presentation. I hope this has been helpful. Again, you saw me learn some things. You also learned how I learn. When I come up with a question that I don't know the answer to, I go straight to the Canvas guides because often the answer is there. I have this link here. This goes to the online education resources page that we've created for our CRC, but the resources there, although some of them are specific to CRC, the answers are good for anyone. And we do have 24-hour help available on the help menu inside Canvas. Let me see if there are any additional questions here that that you have on the chat. Learning by doing, Eddie. Yes, that's right. Thank you all for the kind words. The recording for this video will be available on our Flex page here at CRC. It's also going to be on my YouTube channel. I will perhaps even take the effort to edit YouTube's auto captions once I finish this video. So thank you everyone for attending this session. I will be in the same Zoom room, in the same, it's going to be a different URL for the YouTube channel for the next Flex presentation, which is on spicing up the rich content editor, doing all kinds of stuff to make stuff look neat, while also making sure that our students, that all of our students can access it. And I hope to see you then. Okay,